Alright, so we're going to talk about free modifiers, and hopefully this should just be a reminder for everyone. And I think we're just going to look at levels 1 and 2 for now, and we might add the rest, levels 3, 4, etc. later. But for now, let's just look at level 1 and how we can turn level 1s into awesome things by adding level 2s and where we can add level 2s. So this is an example of a level 1, and a level 1 is literally any simple sentence in the whole world that you would like. So for this example, I'm actually using one from a book called Mythago Wood by Robert Holdstock, which is amazing. And the entire sentence is actually longer than this because he uses a free modifier. But his base, his level 1, is a figure stood there. Okay, it's a simple sentence. We've got a verb, stood, and that's what's being done. And then we have the subject, which is a figure, and that's because the figure is doing the standing. So there's our level 1. So let's take a look at how he adds a free modifier to make it more interesting. So what Robert Holdstock did was he took his level 1, his regular simple sentence, which is a figure stood there, which is this, and he added on to it by putting a comma there. Okay, generally, if not always, when we add a free modifier, we have to put a comma to glue it to the level 1. So we have a level 1, and then we have an ing modifier, which we're quite familiar with at this point, and that's gleaming. A figure stood there gleaming greenly in the fading light. Okay, so that's an example of how you can use a level 2 modifier to add to a level 1. And we call it a level 2 because it refers to something in the level 1. So in this case, what does it refer to? Well, it refers to the figure. Okay, so what is gleaming greenly in the fading light? The figure is gleaming greenly in the fading light. So that's our level 1. And then our level 2 over here refers to more of the level 1. Okay, so that's at the basic level how to do free modification. Now here is the cool part about this. The reason they're called free modifiers is because they're free to go in several different places. Okay, and the places they can go are either before our level 1 here. So you could have our free modifier there. You could have it in here, which is after the subject and between the verb. Okay, so this is another option for our free modifier. And then the third option, which is the one that he uses, is here at the end of our level 1. So let's look at the 3 different possibilities, and you can see which one you prefer. It doesn't really matter. It's personal preference most of the time. So we have our 3 possible options here, and if you look, it's exactly the same words, and the level 1 is exactly the same order of the words, and the level 2 is exactly the same order of the words. It's just where we've placed our free modifier that changes things. So in this example, the free modifier, which is gleaming greenly in the fading light, if you remember that, in the first example here, it's in front of the level 1. So a figure stood there, that's our level 1. It's always our level 1. A figure stood there, it doesn't change. Okay, that's our level 1. And then our level 2, which is our free modifier, has been placed in front of the level 1. So a level 1 is always a complete sentence, and a level 2 is always a free modifier. In this example, we've put it in the second spot. So we still have a figure stood there. That doesn't change, that's our level 1. But we've split open our level 1 and put our level 2 in between the subject and the verb, which is fine. Again, please notice the placement of the commas. So we have to set off a free modifier with a comma. And because the free modifier splits the level 1, we have to use a comma where it starts and a comma where it ends. Whereas in this example, the first one, we just had a comma to attach the free modifier to the front. And then we have our final one, which is this one down here, and that's the one we looked at before with the free modifier in slot number 3. And again, we have a comma to attach it to our level 1. Okay, so the important thing is level 1 is a simple sentence, a complete sentence, doesn't change. And the free modifier is never a complete sentence, and we add it on using a comma. And we're just worried about level 2s and level 1s right now.